Deep in the isolated Anjar district of Arunachal Pradesh, one hiker was suddenly confronted with a decision that would stop anyone in their tracks.
Pray, Joseph!
Standing between him and the rest of his route was a flimsy, barely there bridge nearly consumed by raging floodwaters. The torrent thundered just below his feet. A single misstep, one treacherous plank giving way, and the current would have taken him instantly. But after a few breathless, pulse-racing moments, he reached the other side without a scratch. When popular YouTuber CJ Faison made the decision to spend a night alone in one of Maryland's most notorious haunted forests, he had no idea just how terrifying things were about to become. Pocomoke Forest is a sprawling, densely packed woodland in Maryland, USA, covering more than 18,000 acres and serving as the backdrop for a whole host of disturbing local legends. Stories circulate of decapitations, restless spirits, deranged asylum escapees armed with hooks in place of hands, and perhaps strangest of all, glowing orbs of fire that drift silently between the trees before disappearing entirely. The vlog kicks off with a wander through an old graveyard sitting right on the edge of the forest.
A previous video of mine, this area behind me looks really familiar. This is actually the side of the Pocomoke. Right here was one that myself.
It's a sobering moment, a sharp reminder that sometimes the real world is far more unsettling than any legend people cook up.
For a few days, and what that means is I gotta go and I gotta keep on making and creating.
From there, the uploader gets his camp set up and ventures deeper into the pitch black woodland.
Like super remote, so as you can see there's a nice little area around me. I walked for probably about 40 minutes or so, and I'm going to show you kind of the...
During his exploration, he notices a light flickering somewhere off in the distance and immediately kills his torch so he won't be spotted.
This is kind of weird. It's kind of been a standoff. I've had my lights off ever since I first saw a flash towards my way. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh shit.
At first glance, it brings to mind those legendary fireballs set to drift through the trees after dark, but it quickly becomes clear that there's actually another person out there moving through the woods. Not knowing whether this stranger means any harm, and already having heard gunshots earlier in the night, he decides his best move is to stay hidden and wait it out. He can't tell if it's a hunter, but he notes the figure appears unusually tall and thin. Later, as he continues to pick up strange sounds echoing through the darkness, something completely unexpected cuts through the night. A sharp, thunderous cracking noise rings out, sending him sprinting away from the area in a full-blown panic. Thoroughly shaken, CJ retreats to the relative safety of his tent. Somehow he digs deep and finds the nerve to stick it out for the remainder of the night.
But I don't even know if there's anything on the footage, but I heard something just a little earlier, and it almost sounded like I don't know how, like antlers like climb together. It almost sounded like two deer like.
He records a few more check-ins with the camera, manages to get a bit of rest, and then this unfolds. Come morning, CJ makes his way out of the forest, visibly relieved that the ordeal has finally come to an end.
I thought I'd never get out of this freaking place. Hopefully no.
Less for Heart, October 1919. Solo van traveler Carly, from the channel Curious Carly, spent a night just outside Cedar City, Utah, where the temperature plummeted to a punishing 14 degrees. Parked alone in a Walmart lot, her biggest concern wasn't her safety, it was her pipes freezing solid.
In case I didn't mention it earlier, that it was 14 degrees last night in Cedar City. 14 degrees was the low last night. Tonight's low is going to be 37 degrees, and I'm close enough to Laverkin. That's what's coming up on my weather. A lot warmer tonight than it was last night. I was really freaked out that everything...
Come morning, she made her way towards Zion National Park, with no idea that the sense of dread was just getting started. The park was overwhelming, chaotic, and tense, with barely a parking spot to be found, shuttles crammed with people, and strangers snapping at each other in cramped quarters. Carly navigated all of it by herself, constantly moving the van, constantly surrounded by people she didn't know, and yet entirely alone.
And then the Watchman and the Virgin River, I think this is more on the inside of the park, as well as Angel's Landing. So here we are. Here is the scenic drive that I'll be going down, and there is a 1 mile hike at the end of it. Oh wait, never mind. That's Zion Canyon.
As the light began to die, she wound her way through Zion's famous tunnels. Long, cavernous passages bored straight through the rock. Deep inside one of them, a truck hauling a trailer laid on its horn repeatedly, and like a chain reaction, other drivers followed suit. The darkness lit up with headlights.
I was afraid I was gonna miss them. I don't know what just happened, but going back through that big tunnel again, there was this guy with a trailer and he was honking. And so then other people were honking, and I was like, what is going on? I don't know why you're honking. Because it's already a really scary business. So everybody had their headlights on that I could see, and he was just getting into the tunnel. So I don't know, but really freaked me out. So, that's fine though.
The sound ricocheted off the stone walls around her, locking her in a brief surge of panic with no shoulder to pull onto. Rattled but pressing forward, she eventually settled for the night on a remote stretch of BLM land off Highway 9. Distant headlights swept past as darkness took over.
Camping over on the BLM land that I passed by earlier today, and tonight I will fill out the Junior Ranger book so that I can get my badge first thing in the morning. Yay! And then I might do a hike tomorrow in the park, and then I'll be meeting up with some friends. So busy. All right, let's get going.
She pulled over right there at the checkered road. Nothing threatening actually unfolded, but stranded out there, freezing, and far from anyone who could help, Carly was confronted with a truth that solo travelers know well. Fear doesn't always need a face. Sometimes it's simply the creeping awareness of everything lurking just beyond your line of sight. The next gripping video comes from Folks Hair Holda, a South African survival channel dedicated to solo camping in active wildlife zones near Kruger National Park. The content focuses on real-time situational awareness, reading animal tracks, and interpreting creature behavior in genuinely hazardous environments. This particular footage was recorded on April 22nd, 2026, in the KwaZulu-Luseri region of South Africa.
Bull that walked here last night, probably. Walked down this way. Scatterlings of the dung. Yeah, I'm just walking quietly down here, just still looking for a place to spend the night. Check that out. Also something died out here. Seems there was a little bit of a...
The area announces itself as dangerous right from the start. Fresh hippo dung, buffalo tracks, and evidence of a recent kill are all discovered in the same location, making it clear these animals are sharing the same corridor.
I do think they come in here at night. That's a big hyena track here. When I camp near here, I often hear them use this as a highway to...
He takes stock of just how close his campsite sits to the water's edge, knowing full well that wildlife gravitates toward it. That puts him in a tough spot: stay put in the middle of this busy animal highway, or try to move camp with daylight already fading fast.
Guys, I just spotted it now. I didn't see it on the way in, but this over here is a wild dog track, an African wild dog. That's a very rare dog species in Africa, and you can see the nails there as they were running. There are a few here actually. Maybe they're still in the area, but they cover a lot of distance sometimes. Ah, that would have been awesome.
Once darkness settles in, the threat stops feeling abstract. Hyenas begin calling from somewhere uncomfortably nearby, and he picks up enough signs to know a leopard is also working the area around him. Without laying eyes on either animal, he uses his experience and the sounds they make to piece together their positions, turning invisible danger into something he can actually feel.
Woke me up. But, yeah, pretty cool night, eh? Still a cool night. It's probably about... The baboons calling. Yeah, lots of night sounds tonight. Definitely spotted something. Yeah, my fire is dead. And, yeah.
Before long, the night erupts into something loud and disorganized. Lions vocalize from several directions at once, baboons shriek in response, and the surrounding brush keeps rustling with unseen movement. Rather than one clear threat to track, he finds himself wrapped inside a chaotic wall of animal noise. With everything happening simultaneously, zeroing in on any single creature becomes impossible. All he can confirm is that they are everywhere around him, and that realization forces a shift in how he approaches the situation.
I couldn't wake up. And it was a dream. There was nothing coming. Afterwards, I woke up and it was dead quiet. It would have been a bummer because the trail camera, the battery's dead. It's not taking any video, but nothing came by. I think I would have woke up unless a leopard snuck by. It's so nice up there. It's freedom to the next level. You're up in the trees. It is just a...
Sleep barely comes. He stays on high alert as the relentless noise grows less frightening and more suffocating. The sheer density of wildlife in the area is what drives everything. The danger builds slowly, graduating from footprints in the dirt to the actual sounds of animals circling his tent. Nothing makes contact with the shelter, but that almost makes it worse, because they keep getting closer and closer. Come morning, fresh tracks pressed right next to his tent confirmed the animals had been moving through all night long. He had pitched camp directly across their path, and the wild made absolutely sure he knew it. So the question is, could you hold your nerve while predators drift through the darkness around you, or would you have been gone the moment the sun went down? In 2025, a Malaysian man out working deep in the jungle found himself being stalked by a tiger. He barely scrambled up a tree in time, clinging to the branches for hours while the animal paced beneath him. refusing to move on. Every time he considered making a descent, there it was, still watching, still waiting. Only when darkness finally swallowed the jungle did the tiger vanish from sight. He seized his chance and bolted. But here's what haunts you about this story. How long had that tiger been following him before he even realized it? And when it disappeared into the night, had it truly gone? Or was it simply somewhere he could no longer see? Arnold Outdoors is a channel dedicated to wilderness living, fishing, hunting, camping, and venturing into the far corners of the Pacific Northwest. Back in January 2021, the crew pushed deep into the backcountry near Bend, Oregon, looking for a quiet winter escape far from civilization. The idea was straightforward enough: track down a secluded spot, pitch camp, and spend some quality time by the fire with steak, eggs, and fresh crab legs. But the warning signs showed up almost immediately. After grinding through snowy backroads for hours, they eventually stumbled onto what looked like the ideal campsite.
Trying to find a spot. We found another little off-road.
So we're in the middle of flipping nowhere. You can't even see nothing.
And over there you can see one lone little, or two actually.
Yeah, you can't see shit.
Like fire. Maybe a fire,
Possibly.
2 or 3 miles off, and another little light way off.
But yeah, we're not going to know what this place even looks like till tomorrow, so. Alright, so we gotta leave. There's creepy ass people with red headlamps coming towards us out of the woods, 400 yards.
And honestly, that was the right call. When strangers with red headlamps start circling your position in the dead of night, packing up and moving on is the only sensible option. After shifting to what they hoped would be a quieter, more isolated location, the group finally got themselves settled. Tents up, fires crackling, and they're digging into some mountain house meals, one of those genuinely satisfying winter camping moments.
17 miles from Bend, about 7 miles from Paulina Lake, and just with those 2 descriptions, if you drew a couple of circles, you could probably pinpoint our location. Yeah,
Yeah, what the fuck was that, a gunshot?
gunshot or a vehicle. Vehicle. Or Bigfoot's fucking screaming. Sound like a vehicle on a gravel road.
Almost sound like gunshots.
It did almost sound like gunshots echoing. But there's lots of people out here.
Definitely a gunshot.
Close. Really close. Like within a mile.
Half a mile.
Half a mile. Sounds like a 22, and it sounds like it's coming from that way.
Sounds like it's coming from behind.
It's 11:30. Someone must be going to bed.
Then this happened. Initially, nobody panicked. Gunshots in the backcountry aren't exactly unusual. People fire off rounds to chase away coyotes or squeeze in some late target practice. But it's 11:30 at night, and the shots are drawing closer. What unfolds from here will have you seriously reconsidering the appeal of remote camping. Just picture it.
It really sounds like it's coming from that way to me. I'm gonna turn my head. I feel like we should at least once. Yeah. Just one shot. So they can't pinpoint us, but they know we're here. You know what I mean?
Let's turn that off.
Yeah, go. Yeah. They're right fucking there, dude. Hooting and hollering and shooting. It's teenagers hooting and hollering. Kill the lights. They might shoot at us. Kill it and get low. For real.
You're out there chasing some peace and quiet, and suddenly you're face down in the snow because there's a real chance someone is shooting in your direction.
He said, fire. The one dude said, where? And then he said, God dang, right there.
Yeah,
pointing towards
like
our
a
fire.
Yeah.
They saw our fire.
We got a lot of firepower here.
Yeah, for sure.
Luckily, after several tense minutes, the voices and the sound of the vehicle faded into the distance. Arnold and his friend handled the whole thing exactly right. They kept their cool, cut their lights to avoid attracting any further attention, and held their position until the danger passed. Now, plenty of you are probably thinking this was just a couple of locals blowing off steam, and maybe that's the whole story. But consider this. Firing blindly into areas where people are camping in the middle of the night goes well beyond careless, even if that's all it was. So what's your read on the situation? Just a couple of reckless idiots, or something a lot more unsettling? Drop your thoughts below. Our next story follows Sydney, the solo adventurer, running the YouTube channel Sydney's State of Mind. Since last April, she's been crisscrossing the country in her SUV, documenting road trip experiences, travel advice, and those rare moments of pure freedom that come with life on the open road. Her content tends to radiate warmth and wonder, a celebration of what solo travel can offer and the stunning landscapes it leads her to. But sometimes the road has other plans. That's exactly what happened in this particular video, when Sydney's journey took a much darker and more unsettling direction during a camping trip deep in the remote wilderness of southeast Missouri. It's September 22nd, 2024. After hours of driving, Sydney finally pulls up to the secluded spot she'd chosen for the night. The day had gone exactly the way she wanted. Peaceful, gorgeous, and full of discovery. But the moment she arrives at her intended campsite, something changes. A quiet unease settles in, subtle at first, but undeniable.
Oh, this looks so creepy. Oh, there's a fire tower up there. So apparently there's spots like at the end of this road right here. Well, it's supposed to be down this road. This all just looks really spooky. Okay, so basically the issue is that I was supposed to turn down that road down there, and there's a giant tree in front of it, and it looks really creepy and unkept. It's supposed to storm. I'm basically in a hurricane. I'm in like hurricane weather right now. And I have a feeling that if I stay this far deep in the woods, a bunch of branches are gonna fall and block me when I want to leave tomorrow, so I think I might.
Going with her gut, Sydney decides to scrap her original plan. Something about that location just wasn't sitting right with her. Putting her safety first, she heads back out, hoping to find somewhere that feels a little less off. With the light disappearing fast, she does her best to keep her spirits up, reminding herself that flexibility is part of the journey, and eventually she lands on a new spot. It's not perfect, but she makes it her own, refusing to let the unease get the better of her evening. What she doesn't realize, though, is that the night has barely begun.
I made it back to the fire tower. Where's my Spam, bruh? Here's my rice. I'm making Spam. I've only had it one other time in my life. The only time I've had Spam was on a ski weekend with people from my college, and this girl made Spam. Well, this is only a tad creepy. I feel like I'm attracting all the bears. I'm actually really scared of the whole bear thing right now. I don't know what I was thinking. This was so smelly. I should not have made them.
Then it hits her like a wave. She's deep in bear country. The meal she'd just cooked, which had felt like such a comfort only minutes before, now seemed like it was broadcasting her location to every predator in the forest. Every distant noise, every snapping twig, felt magnified by the dread slowly taking hold. Sydney tried to keep herself grounded, running through the safety precautions she'd picked up over her travels, but the creeping anxiety was impossible to shake. The location, which had already carried a strange, hard-to-define heaviness from the start, now felt like it was pressing in around her. And with each passing minute, one question kept getting louder. Is staying here tonight actually a good idea? Or should she cut her losses and leave?
Actually, I'm very freaked out. Putting my oven away, my stove away. This is just gonna be dirty in my car. I have this plate of food and I need to eat it, but I'm so scared. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to eat as much as I can, and I think I might move to a campsite like over there and just get up in the morning and leave early. I'm almost like about to shake. I'm so scared, but I need to eat. Oh my god. Thank you, Dad. Thank you so much. I don't think I've ever needed spotlights more than tonight. Okay, I'm checking to see if there's even a place to like pull in. You're probably like, wow, that made such a difference in where you're camping before. Well, I don't know. I'm just spooked. I'm spooked. So, moving my campsite, even if it is like just 50 yards, 30 yards, whatever, makes me feel a bit better.
Moving into her car brought Sydney at least a measure of comfort. The food scent was no longer drifting through her sleeping area, and the sturdy shell of the vehicle felt like something solid standing between her and the darkness outside. Even so, the unease didn't fully lift. Every little noise beyond the windows sent her pulse spiking, and the thought of a bear lurking nearby refused to leave her alone. Eventually, though, her body gave in to exhaustion. Wrapped in the relative security of her SUV, she drifted off, and when morning filtered through the trees, she woke up safe, if a little rattled. So, was Sydney being overly cautious, or was she simply tuned in to something her instincts were trying to tell her? Something that may have protected her through the night. Either way, one thing's hard to argue with. When you're out there alone in the wild, listening to that inner voice is never a mistake. Turkish YouTube channel Ramblesal is helmed by a couple well known for their warm, beautifully filmed outdoor escapes through the countryside. Their videos tend to have a peaceful, unhurried quality, but this particular episode took a sharp and terrifying turn. What was meant to be another laid-back camping trip by the lake became one of the most frightening ordeals they've ever documented. They had just pulled up to a gorgeous, secluded lakeside location, a personal favorite of theirs for fishing, cooking, and soaking in the silence. The weather was cooperating, spirits were high, and they were eager to break in a brand new inflatable tent they'd never used before. Every sign pointed toward a perfect evening. Then, just as the sun started to dip below the horizon, a fierce wind rolled in out of nowhere. They didn't think much of it at first, writing it off as one of those typical spring gusts that fades quickly. But this one had no intention of letting up. If anything, it intensified. They shifted into action mode, locking down their equipment and settling in for the night. But come morning, things fell apart in the worst way imaginable.
Aşkım? Ya! Saçmalama! Dur!
Şunu al. Var içeride. Sana yangın arabanın anahtarı.
Ya patlar mı onlar?
Patlayacak bir şey yok. Çok yaklaşma. Tüpler patlayabilir. Sana bir su getirsene şeyden.
Şurada.
Ha olur.
Sevgilim nasıl
Patlamaz
yapacağız?
ya. Patlamaz. Şunu da al. Ver onu bana.
Of ya! Canım,
Ha?
nasıl yapacağız bunu?
Ver ben dökerim. Dur şunu koyayım.
Of ya! Aman.
Of ya. Dur. Bir tane daha.
Of. Of ya.
Ta bagajın altında.
Right in the middle of breakfast, with absolutely no warning, their tent burst into flames. Despite being brand new, generously sized, and reinforced, the fabric ignited in seconds. The likely culprit was a nearby inverter connected to their power setup, which appeared to have overheated or short-circuited, catching the edge of the tent material alight. Fire raced across the synthetic surface almost instantly. Pure panic set in. They scrambled for the fire extinguisher, but the tent's internal air pressure caused the whole structure to cave inward on itself. There was no room for deliberation, only instinct. The one saving grace was that neither of them was inside when it started. Had they been just a few minutes slower to step out, this footage could have told a very different story. They threw everything at the blaze, water, the extinguisher, even handfuls of sand, but by then, the destruction was already done. Standing in the aftermath, the couple looked completely hollow. Two people who are almost always bright and composed on screen were visibly falling apart. She broke down in tears, not simply over the lost equipment, but from the gut-punch realization of how close they had come to something far worse. He did his best to hold it together, trying to console her, but even his voice gave way as he surveyed what remained. Still, they chose to close out the video on a note of genuine thankfulness, because the alternative outcome didn't bear thinking about. It was the first, and as it turned out, the final time that tent would ever be used. Most importantly, both of them walked away without a scratch, and at the end of the day, that's the only thing that really counts. Posted on July 7th, 2025, this clip comes from a brand new channel that appears to be chronicling the uploader's earliest solo ventures into the wilderness. Right at the start, the creator is upfront about their expectations. This was supposed to be nothing more than a low-key nighttime walk to try out some equipment and maybe grab a few nice shots. What ended up on film, though, was anything but routine. As the video unfolds, the thick forest, barely illuminated by a single flashlight, feels suffocating and eerily quiet. There's no commentary, no background music, just the crunch of footsteps through dead leaves and the occasional snap of a branch somewhere further in the darkness. Then, without warning, something catches the lens.
More of that. Where's the next path? Here it is. Just gonna have to cross over this.
scared, guys. What's that? Okay. Strange. Definitely hearing things.
It's difficult to identify at first, but out in the distance, a pair of faint luminous eyes reflect back against the camera light. They don't behave the way a normal animal would. There's no bolting, no darting away into the brush. Instead, the shape appears to be standing upright and completely motionless, just staring back. The uploader describes it as a humanoid silhouette, tall, unnaturally still, and strangely proportioned. Not a single sound came from it. It simply stood there, watching from the tree line. Shaken but intent on capturing everything, the explorer keeps their distance. They eventually retreat and end the recording abruptly, visibly disturbed by what just happened. What makes this encounter so unsettling is the sheer unpolished nature of the footage. No dramatic effects, no heavy post-production, just one person alone in the pitch dark stumbling into something they cannot account for. The video itself has no spoken narration, but in the description box the creator leaves a note that's hard to shake. Whatever it was out there, they're going back for it. Whether this turns out to be a hoax, a misidentified animal, or something that genuinely defies explanation, we're left hanging on part 2 and asking ourselves what might actually be lurking in those woods. This next unsettling clip comes from Night Encounters, a YouTube channel based in the United States that specializes in documenting paranormal and unexplained phenomena during the late night hours. Their content centers on raw, real-time responses to strange sounds, camera anomalies, and deeply uncomfortable environments. On July 27th, 2023, the crew made their way out to a forest with a haunted reputation.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a big road going that way, and the road just ends over here.
Yeah, it's just like a forest area now.
Yeah.
Remember when we went there last time? What happened, bro?
Yeah, dude, I don't really wanna remember that.
Bro, there's a flashlight. Look. Is that a lamppost? Well.
Is that like, I don't know, is
But
that
it's
like
blurry.
a fence or something there?
Oh, wait. Oh, dude.
What?
There's somebody there.
Actually?
Yeah. Bro. Oh, I can think somebody's walking. Somebody's walking there, bro. Hey, see? Bro, I swear. I saw somebody. No, I swear I heard somebody.
Wait.
Like right there, like walking. Oh no,
Dude, don't play.
bro, no, I'm not playing, bro. I swear, every time something I say, it's like 100%
Okay.
real. But the camera, it's so blurry right now.
Gotta do this. Dude, I remember this place being like super creepy because there was a trash bag or something there.
Yeah, and then we heard like laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not again this year, bro.
Do you hear that?
Like,
Yeah,
what was that? No, what was that?
What?
Bro, like snake hissing or something. Oh no, like right there.
Shh. Can't tell if it's a bird or not, but it's like nighttime, so why would there be like birds or something?
Well, I haven't heard a bird in like an hour, I swear. This place always creeps me out.
Let's try and keep going. I want to like something to happen for the video.
Yeah, but
again,
not something so crazy that we freaking, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're actually out here.
Bro.
Turn the light. Wait, the noise came from there.
It's bro.
It could be the water. We're like right near a lake. There's like 50 meters and there's a lake.
I don't wanna be here,
There's
bro.
a grill. Someone's been grilling here. Wait, show this place. Yeah, there's a campfire place.
Somebody's calling me.
Oh, what the? Oh, oh, dude. Oh, that was someone there. Dude, wait, there's a turn off the... Oh, crap. Oh. Hell out there. Wait, stay here. Dude, there's a damn bike. Wait, give me that.
Oh.
Dude, bike's stuck.
As darkness took over, the group moved along a rarely traveled road that wound its way deep into the trees. The mood changed fast. Disturbing sounds surrounded them from every direction. laughter, hissing, shuffling, and at one point what seemed to be a bicycle drawing near, yet no cyclist ever showed up. Their recording equipment began to glitch and fog over without explanation, ratcheting up the dread. Torn between pressing on and turning back, the team went back and forth about what to do next. The creeping unease.
For a little bit, okay?
Right. That's so creepy, bro.
Well, you know what we'll do actually?
What?
Let's just, since it is already, it's 3:09, we just go, we'll do the stag, or slash the devil's hide and seek. At 3 AM, pick up the camera. We'll pick up the camera when we find a spot we started at. So yeah, see you then. Are you recording?
Yep.
Okay. Pretty much, we start the ritual now.
Found the place, so.
Yeah, it's 3:19 actually. We were running around there because we saw some weird guys near the water.
Bro.
So yeah, that like creeped us really out. But pretty much gonna do the ritual called Devil's
Tag, bro.
Devil's Tag or the Devil's Hide and Seek. Pretty much it works like this. We have to find a home place somewhere that we could like return to in case anything goes like super bad. We're gonna choose this tree over here.
Yep.
As you can see.
Looks like Devil's Tree, man. Like
Yeah,
we only have it
really
near the
creepy.
house.
Yeah, exactly. So now pretty much gonna put our hands on the tree, gonna say some words, and then we'll have a countdown of how much?
60.
Let's do 60 seconds, okay? So we have 1 minute to hide. I think we'll go somewhere into the woods.
Yeah, like there.
And then creepy stuff should basically happen. And 20 ritual, we have to come back here, put our hand on the tree, and yell safe, then do another chant, okay? So yeah, let me pull up there.
Refusing to let up. Around 3 in the morning, they chose to attempt a ritual-style game known as Devil's Hide and Seek. With a marked tree serving as home base, the participants spread out into the surrounding woods. Eerie noises kept coming, and the forest felt like it was shifting just beyond the reach of their cameras. Nothing concrete ever showed itself, but the escalating fear and rattled reactions transformed the game into a genuinely harrowing ordeal. The group walked away shaken but unharmed, left to process the equipment failures, the unexplained sounds, and the suffocating energy that seemed to hang over the entire forest. That night stood as a stark reminder that sometimes it's not what you actually witness, but the weight of not knowing that makes certain places so deeply frightening. A forest is never truly quiet, but it's the footsteps you can't account for that get under your skin. In the end, it isn't monsters that scare us the most. It's the sudden, wordless sense that someone else is standing right there with you. The story comes from the channel Grizzly Gaz, where the host regularly documents his wild camping and van life excursions, backpacking journeys, and off-the-beaten-path explorations, all while weaving in the local history and folklore tied to the places he visits. Gaz is a true outdoorsman with a genuine love for nature, and he frequently brings his dog Fendi along for the ride. On March 8th, 2026, he headed out once again for a solo wild camping trip deep in the remote moorlands. The location sat far from any town or city, nestled in an area steeped in ancient pagan history and old regional folklore. What started out as a quiet and serene getaway, though, would soon become yet another deeply unsettling chapter in his outdoor adventures.
Glorious, isn't it? Oh my word. Where are you off? We're going up this way. Come on. Yeah, alright, you're struggling, aren't you already, kid? And I think one of those stones up there is called the Sphinx. Or I could just be making all this up. You never know, do you? Look at her. Loving life, aren't you, mate? No. Go on. Here we go, look. The staple of every wild camper's diet. Whoop. Steady on, Gaz, steady on. Ooh, that little treats. Yummy nums. It was like a grey colour before, but well, it still looks grey. It is more of a like a olive greeny colour.
Once darkness had completely blanketed the forest, Gaz eventually retreated into his tent to wind down for the night. But just as everything went still, something suddenly pulled his focus.
Can you hear that? What is that? Hear that? Look, 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 look. It's probably a train in distance. People still out walking dogs and that.
Initially, he picked up on the faint distant sound of wind chimes drifting in from somewhere among the trees. He peered outside and noticed two figures making their way up the hillside with the dog in tow. Figuring they were the source of the noise, he let it go and settled back into his tent, assuming they were just passing through without any interest in him. But only minutes later, something outside caught his ear again, and this time it was far closer, practically right on top of the campsite.
They just stood outside my tent talking. Mate, it's nearly 10:30 at night.
He began detecting movement just beyond the tent walls. Then came voices, multiple people talking just outside, low and indistinct. No matter how hard he listened, he couldn't pick out a single word. What unsettled him most was the realization that this was now the second time someone had wandered near his tent, almost as though they were making laps around the campsite. Feeling uneasy, Gaz made the call to stay quiet and keep still, rather than step outside to confront whoever was out there. Eventually, the voices trailed off and silence reclaimed the forest, and he managed to drift off to sleep.
Morning. And I can hear that. Well, I've been hearing like screams. It's really weird. I don't know if it's some sort of bird or if it's actually someone screaming. It's far away, like. I'm too tired for this, man. Well, as long as it don't get closer, I'll be alright. Well, it's 4:15 now, and I can't get back to sleep. Look how cold it is.
Gaz later stated that he also heard distant screaming at some point during the night, though that particular sound never registered on the camera footage. Around the same time, soft clacking noises were audible just outside the tent. He had come out here chasing a peaceful night under the stars, but the evening had gradually shifted into something tense and deeply uncomfortable. The individuals he had spotted earlier were first seen further up the hill, yet they kept gravitating back toward his camp, apparently circling closer and closer to where he slept. It left a nagging question hanging in the air. What reason would anyone have to keep returning to a lone tent in the dead of night? Maybe their motives were harmless, maybe they weren't, but given the circumstances, nothing about it felt right. This was remote, rugged terrain, not somewhere people just wander casually, and certainly not at midnight. Simply knowing that strangers might be lurking around your tent in that kind of isolation is enough to put anyone on edge. And then there were those screams Gaz described, sounds the camera never picked up, which only added another layer of unease to the whole thing. Whether those sounds were connected to the people outside or something else entirely is impossible to say. Regardless of their intentions, the behavior was strange and hard to explain away. In places this remote, what initially appears harmless has a way of escalating into something genuinely dangerous. Because out in isolated wilderness, the biggest threat isn't always the wildlife, it's often the people you weren't expecting to encounter. Serious incidents happen in places just like this, far from any witnesses, miles from any help, with nothing to document what went wrong. Gaz made it out without incident, but whoever or whatever was circling his tent that night, their purpose remains completely unknown. In April 2019, an outdoor enthusiast named Jason uploaded a video to his YouTube channel, Happy Mountain Trekkers, documenting a solo overnight trip into the mountains. The channel is dedicated to wilderness content, with Jason regularly putting out footage of his hiking adventures, camping excursions, and backcountry survival techniques. For the majority of the video, the trek to his campsite appears completely uneventful.
I'm heading up on the mountain to do some work at camp and do my first.
Once he arrives at his chosen location, Jason gets to work setting up his tent and walks his viewers through the process of building a fire as the sun begins to go down. To kill time before dark, he attempts to whittle a wooden spoon. Mid-activity, he picks up on a strange sound drifting down from a nearby mountain top.
Figure out what that is. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds like some kind of, almost sounds like a bird, but it doesn't. Of course it quits. I'm hearing things.
He brushes it off as some kind of animal and continues getting ready for the night. Around 9 in the evening, Jason shuts the camera off to get some rest. But within the hour, he's jolted awake by an unfamiliar noise.
Well, boys and girls, getting ready to hit the hay. It's a little after 9. And I'm whipped. I think I'm gonna sleep good tonight. It's supposed to be relatively warm in the 50s, and it feels like it. Alright guys, I just want to give you a quick update. It's about 10 after 10. I laid down about 9 o'clock and I was trying to go to sleep. It took me a while and I was almost asleep, and sometime before 10 I was woke up by something I've never heard in my life. And I know this might sound sensational or something that, you know, I'm not bullshitting. I heard like 4 quick, very loud, deep guttural calls on this ridge behind me, behind camp. There's like a dip on the other side, and it goes up to a higher ridge on this backside, and it sounded like it come from over there. But it was like 4 calls, almost like a communication call of some kind. They were back to back, and then there was a pause, and then I heard 2 more. It scared the absolute shit out of me. I'm still rattled. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a mix between almost like a pig, some kind of, I hate to even say it, but a pig, an ape, and the calls almost sounded like how the velociraptors communicate with each other on Jurassic Park. I've never heard anything like that in my life. Needless to say, I'm pretty wigged out being up here by myself. I got up and got this first thing. I don't know what the hell that was, but it was big.
He struggles to describe it, something like a low guttural animal call, but the distance made it impossible to pin down exactly what was making it. Rattled but determined, he tries to fall back asleep, until around 1 in the morning, when something or someone can be heard moving just outside his tent.
About 1 o'clock. heard something circle my camp. Whatever it is, it's close. You hear that? Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter. Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter. I heard that. Yeah.
Down in the bottom left corner of the frame, as Jason sweeps his flashlight through the darkness, you can make out what appear to be 1 or 2 pairs of eyes glowing back at him. While many animals produce eye shine at night, the intense white reflection points toward wolves or coyotes lurking nearby. A domestic dog is an unlikely explanation given the remote mountain setting and the late hour. Although wolves and coyotes don't typically pose a threat to humans and tend to keep their distance, they can become dangerous when they feel trapped, especially if offspring are involved. If that had been the case here, Jason's situation could have turned very grim very quickly. What makes it all the more unsettling is that he appears to have no idea those glowing eyes are fixed on him as he scans the tree line. Fortunately, he retreated to his tent and woke up the following morning without incident. He filmed a brief update for his audience that day, but said nothing about the eyes his camera had silently recorded the night before, suggesting he never actually saw them. The channel has never addressed the encounter since. The following unsettling clip comes from a channel called Side Money Tom, a YouTube page that typically revolves around financial advice, side income strategies, and personal money management. The channel usually offers its audience actionable tips on generating extra cash through avenues like online work, investing, and small business ventures. This particular video, though, strays completely from that familiar territory. It tells a strange and deeply disturbing story that has had viewers debating whether any of it is genuine. It was June 4th, 2017, a warm summer evening, and the events unfold on Bureau of Land Management land just outside Bend, Oregon. The region is well known for its remote, peaceful surroundings, making it a natural draw for anyone seeking a quiet solo escape into the wilderness. What was supposed to be a relaxing retreat, however, spiraled into something far darker. Interestingly, this isn't footage Tom shot himself. Rather, he shares video recorded by someone else entirely, a person who allegedly vanished under deeply troubling circumstances. We'll get into the details once you've seen the footage. The clip opens with Jeff the camper at the center of the story, filming his sight as the last light of the day fades behind the hills. Everything looks calm, the surrounding wilderness vast and undisturbed, with only the ambient sounds of nature in the background. At this point, Jeff has absolutely no sense of what's coming for him later that night.
Sun's setting, it's about 8 o'clock. Should be dark out here in less than an hour. You can get a little bit over there through the trees. Beautiful night. Definitely going to be turning in.
Jumping ahead to the early hours of the morning, Jeff starts recording once more, and the shift in his demeanor is immediately noticeable. He sounds rattled. He tells the camera that this is now the third time strange noises from outside his tent have jolted him awake. What started as faint, indistinct sounds has grown louder and harder to ignore. Then things take a genuinely unsettling turn. The noises begin to sound like rocks being deliberately struck against one another. Now wide awake and on edge, Jeff whispers into the camera that whatever is out there doesn't sound like wildlife. He's certain that a person is standing somewhere in that darkness, intentionally trying to disturb him.
The fucking third time I've been woken up by these goddamn noises. Yeah, you can hear it. It's up from that side. Sounds right outside the tent. There's someone right outside the tent. That can't be. That's a fucking animal. That's someone's messing around with the rocks out there. Jesus Christ. Hey, fucking leave me alone!
The footage becomes frantic and disorienting, the camera lurching wildly as Jeff stumbles through the pitch-black trees. All we can make out is his rapid panic breathing, broken only by the soft rustling of leaves and the occasional crack of a branch snapping underfoot.
Flashlight. Now I can't see a goddamn thing outside this night vision. Jesus Christ. I don't know where the I'm. Chased me off. Now I'm wandering the goddamn darkness. Shit. Flashlight.
Then, without any warning, something steps into frame. A tall, unsettling humanoid figure with a strangely elongated, almost alien silhouette materializes directly in Jeff's path. His response is immediate, a raw, blood-curdling scream that tears through the stillness of the forest. And then the recording dies. Once the footage concludes, we're left with a written description that only deepens the unease. It reads, "Earlier this month, a relative reached out to me about an incident that occurred just outside of Bend, Oregon, in May. A man from the area had driven out to his favorite camping spot for the first outing of the season and never made it back. Almost everything he owned was recovered at the site, including his vehicle and his camera, which held footage of his final moments. His family is asking anyone with information about his whereabouts to please come forward. A Facebook page called Bring Home Our Jeff has been set up in hopes of locating him." That description raises a deeply chilling question. Could any of this actually be real? The fact that a dedicated Facebook page was created suggests Jeff's disappearance may be a genuine missing persons case. If that's true, then what on earth happened to him out there? Did he encounter something lurking in those woods that we can't explain? Was the whole thing staged? Or is there some other explanation nobody has considered? Honestly, I don't know what to make of it, but I'd love to hear where you land on this. Was this an elaborate piece of fiction, or did Jeff's camera accidentally document something truly horrifying? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Maybe it isn't the creatures of the wild that should keep us up at night. In the most isolated and shadowy corners of the places we choose to explore, it's often the sudden realization that another human being is nearby that transforms an adventure into something you'll never forget. Roaming Reckless is a channel defined by authenticity and toughness, where solo camping isn't dressed up or glamorized. It's presented as it actually is: messy, unpredictable, and at times deeply unsettling. In this episode, Maria headed out for what she hoped would be a calm night of car camping with her dog Tazzy, somewhere in the North Georgia mountains. What started as a simple getaway, however, took a sharp turn into something far more intense: a head-on encounter with nature at its most savage. Even before things went sideways, Maria was already working against the odds: no rain gear, no advance warning, and a radar showing a storm building fast. A last-minute swing through an outfitter and a borrowed REI card got her just enough supplies to keep moving. Even so, the clouds were already rolling in as she pulled out of town. With conditions deteriorating, she pushed into the misty forest, set on finding a secluded pull-off well away from other campers, and deep in what locals call Bigfoot country.
Looks like a good enough spot to me. There's a fire pit right here, so obviously people have camped at this pull-off. Spooky, middle of the woods. I'm just gonna back the Grenadier in. Obviously, safety purposes. Leveling out.
Rain was already hammering down as Maria reversed her vehicle into a lopsided, uneven pull-off that was barely wide enough to fit the Grenadier. A cold, long-abandoned fire pit sat nearby, evidence that others had spent nights here before. But this evening felt entirely different. The air carried a heaviness, the silence had a presence of its own, and the worst of the storm hadn't even shown up yet.
That's my girl. Look at you. I'm really glad that we are gonna have like an hour or two of light rain, because sometimes you have to camp in bad weather, right? Like right now I can't avoid these thunderstorms. I can't get out of it, but it's nice when your dog doesn't have to be stuck in the truck. Yeah, because you need to stretch your legs. It's your God-given right. I'm gonna leave this stuff out because I might make coffee later. Yes, I know. Coffee before bed, you shouldn't do that. But I do have work to do tonight, so why not? Get out of the rain, kiddo. Yeah. I downloaded a few episodes from documentaries, docuseries, talking about Bigfoot, Sasquatch. You get it? I'm really excited to get into them. I cannot get over how much evidence they had at Expedition Bigfoot, which you could argue that it's not real, or you could argue that it's fabricated or whatever. You could argue that, or you could believe in it. I just don't understand, if there's been lore for thousands of years, sightings for thousands of years, how it could not be real. Call me crazy. Anyways, I'm excited to watch more about it and really dive into it while we're in the territory. I keep waiting for...
Tazzy darted through the wet underbrush in restless circles, trying to burn off her anxiety. Maria kept her tone upbeat, doing her best to hold the mood together, but the rolling thunder was clearly winning that battle. Her clothes were soaked through, and the forecast promised several more hours of the same.
It's coming right now. Should be here pretty quick, according to the radar. Look at this creepy freaking campsite. There have been multiple Bigfoot sightings in the area, and a lot of them have been repeat. They come around a lot, so. A huge thunderstorm is also on its way, so we are in for a night. Is that going to be a good or a bad night? Who knows? I love you so much. Yeah. I love you so much. You're going to do such a good job. It's going to be such a good night. You're gonna be so brave. It's for you, kiddo. It's so eerie.
As darkness settled in, Maria tried to stick to some kind of routine. Work, coffee, keeping busy. Tazzy was bundled into her thunder shirt, but there was no ignoring the shift in the air. The fog had grown dense, visibility had dropped to just a few feet, the trees pressed in from every direction, and something about the campsite had started to feel fundamentally wrong.
Now on leash because we never know how she's gonna feel in the storm, and we won't let her be Bigfoot food. Right, girl? Wanna go potty? Let's go potty outside. It's potty time, Mama. Here we go. Oh my gosh, talk about the creepiest campsite ever. You guys, how creepy is this? I don't want to go over here.
Summoning a quiet kind of courage, Maria took Tazzy out for one final walk before the full force of the storm arrived. But stepping into that wall of fog, with water dripping from every branch and a silence that seemed to swallow sound whole, felt like crossing into another dimension entirely. Her flashlight barely made a dent in the haze. Shapes shifted behind every tree. Even Tazzy, usually eager to explore, pulled back. Maria moved quickly through the routine, every nerve in her body telling her they were far too exposed out there.
Let's go. Come on. Gotta be quick. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Go potty. Good girl. Good job, Mama. Alright, come on. Up here. That was like a horror video game. That's what that felt like. Oh my gosh. I'm like triple check we're locked in. That was so creepy.
It's curious. They're not sure to describe the same thing.
The storm hit sometime just after midnight. Maria buried herself in blankets, fingers fidgeting as she tried to lose herself in a downloaded documentary on her phone, a show about Bigfoot of all things. The irony wasn't exactly subtle. Outside, limbs cracked and the wind shoved hard against the car. Inside, Tazzy flinched at every thunderclap, eyes scanning the darkness. It was the kind of storm that simply refuses to let you sleep, no matter how exhausted you are. By 3 a.m, the worst had moved through. The thunder had grown distant, the rain had settled into a low, steady rhythm against the roof, and Tazzy, snug and pressed close, had finally gone still. Maria lay there with her eyes wide open, just listening. The night had made one thing perfectly clear. You don't need something lurking in the dark to feel like you're being watched. Sometimes the storm alone is more than enough. Morning didn't arrive with sunshine, just a washed-out gray light pressing weakly through heavy clouds. Fog still wrapped around the tree trunks, and the ground was completely saturated, but Tazzy was already bounding happily through the woods, whatever fear had gripped her the night before, completely gone. Maria stepped out carefully, mug in hand, eyes drifting along the ridgeline. The stillness was almost strange, like the storm had carried something away with it on its way out. Some trips push you in directions you never anticipated. For Maria, this one had nothing to do with folklore or creatures in the woods. It was about showing up alone and facing the wilderness exactly as it presents itself. And when it was all over, it wasn't the legends that stayed with her. It was the storm. Relentless, merciless, and utterly unforgettable. In September 2024, British YouTuber Camping with Josh ventured out alone for an overnight stay in a nearby woodland. Foggy weather, a last-minute trip straight after his shift, cottage pie heating over the fire. It was supposed to be a relaxing escape. He picked a spot, got his tarp rigged up, and started chopping firewood. Then heavy footfalls began crunching through the undergrowth around him. Not a branch dropping, not rainfall on foliage, Something was moving deliberately, circling his position.
Literally sat over there, trimming the wood down, cutting it down how I like it. And I can just hear some mad movement going on in those bushes over there. I can't tell if it's like the rainfall just making quite a commotion, or there's maybe rabbits or deers maybe walking through, or any dog walkers or whatever, I don't know. Bit spooky. It'll be just the rain in a way. I don't know why I let these things play on my mind sometimes. It happens, you know, guys, it happens. Literally, camping out solo is a wonderful thing for many reasons. But sometimes your mind just plays tricks on you. And you think you can hear like treading through the woods, but can't hear any talking, can't see any torches. It's just me in here, I assume.
Then the whole place fell silent. Even the birds cut out.
I'm finding it really difficult. Do you know what I mean? You heard that. And it's really quiet. There should be birds singing. There was birds singing, and I've just noticed they've just stopped singing. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they be singing?
He tried to brush it off, convinced himself there was a rational explanation. Then he spotted it, a dark figure, a black shape lurking in the bushes directly across from him. He locked eyes on it. It sank down out of sight. That was all he needed.
When the camera was off, I heard some really heavy movements in the bushes, and I'm pretty sure I saw something in the bushes as well. As I was standing still, there was this movement there. So I think what I'm going to do...
He snatched up what he could carry and abandoned his tarp entirely. As he pushed his way through the trees toward open ground, he could hear footsteps behind him, keeping pace, following his every move.
Hello?
Josh got out safely, but he went on to share something he'd kept off camera until now. A previous trip to those exact same woods. Midnight, 2 torch beams approaching his hammock. He slipped behind a tree and watched as 2 men walked right through his campsite, clocked his shelter, and exchanged a look. He stepped out and showed himself. They left, then 20 minutes later, they returned. Only now there were 5 additional people with them. They encircled his camp and started asking odd questions. "There you are," one of them said, as though they'd been actively hunting for him. Their explanations didn't hold together. When they eventually moved off, they stopped just past the tree line and lingered. He packed his gear.
Something in me that told me to leave. I did believe God was telling me to just pack up and leave. You know, you've had some fun for a bit. You know, you've been out in the outdoors, you've enjoyed it. It's time to leave now. I listened to myself as well, and I just chose just to pack up and leave. What is there to lose, you know? I've had a good time. I've tried.
And ran. So what exactly was prowling around Josh in those misty trees? What was it that ducked for cover the moment he stared too long? And who were those men who came back with a group standing in the darkness waiting? And when does it stop feeling like coincidence? A man was out camping solo deep in the woods when he caught sight of something, or someone, lurking among the trees not far from his sight. At that range, it was hard to tell exactly what he was looking at. Could have been a large person, could have been something else entirely. Even so, he decided to stick around and spend the night. When darkness finally took over, he was jolted awake by unsettling noises. Squinting into the blackness, he made out something that stopped him cold.
Coming quick. What is that? Looks like eye shine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Should I whistle?
Oddly enough, he kept his composure and decided to knock against a nearby tree. What responded was the last thing he expected. Those same glowing eyes materialized directly in front of him.
Oh, what a stupid thing went.
This turned out to be the final clip he ever posted, though thankfully all signs point to him having walked away in one piece. YouTuber known for venturing deep into the wilderness, someone who documents backcountry camping trips and never holds back when things get weird, came back with yet another unsettling upload. The video kicks off with lighthearted conversation and a snowy trek into the forest. On the surface, it reads like any other winter outing, boots crunching through fresh snow, laughter bouncing between the trees, a group eager to see what's out there. That easygoing atmosphere, however, doesn't stick around for long. Midway through their hike, the group comes across a large tent, beaten down and half buried under snow. What makes it genuinely disturbing is what was still inside. A child's shoe, candy wrappers, scattered personal items, all left within a collapsed frozen shelter that had no fire pit nearby, no vehicle in sight, and not a single human footprint anywhere around it.
So far, I'm really not seeing any need for alarm. I'm guessing it's just a
abandoned tent.
It's all wet.
Well, yeah. I would just leave it. There's no blood or anything pulling out. I don't think it's a person. And I mean, if there's a shoe here, it's not like they'd leave a corpse and take a child. You know, someone had to have been here to take the kid away if there was an injury. And no one would leave a child on themselves like that. I think it's just a tent. Okay.
Looks pretty up.
It's very, very.
This is what that is.
We're pretty much right there with this. I think it's just fabric.
Yeah. Might just be water that.
Something immediately felt wrong to the group. The whole setup looked like whoever was there had left in a hurry, maybe during a storm. But even that theory didn't fully hold up. The way things were strewn about, a shoe here, a sleeping bag there, felt less like a planned exit and more like something sudden. The tent was partially crushed, with frozen clothing and blankets still tangled inside, and some of those items looked like they'd been used recently. There was no sign of anything violent, but there was equally no sign of a calm, deliberate departure. The child's shoe in particular stood out. That's not something you leave behind by choice, and neither is the rest of the gear scattered around it. The whole scene just bred more questions. Did a family bolt during a storm, or had someone else moved through and taken over the site? Nobody had answers, and the unease was visible. The group decided to leave everything as it was and push forward.
What?
Like this tree could have fell and scared him?
That could be. It could be.
I see something. There's some like candy wrappers. Honestly, actually, I think that pump there, because it looks like that might be another air vent, might be lumpy the same way this looks like it was on the other side. Like this is just extra fabric lumped up. That would make a bump like that too.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's an empty tent with some candy wrappers and a kid's shoe. Could have even been parents said, you guys can go camping. We'll come check on you every day, whatever.
Here's a bungee cord.
The deeper they moved into the woods, the more the strangeness compounded. They began noticing unusual markings on the trees, including what appeared to be spray paint deliberately covering trail direction markers. That detail alone felt like a warning sign. Someone had taken the time to obscure those markers, which suggests they may have wanted to discourage people from passing through. The paint looked relatively fresh in spots, though sloppily applied, as if it had been done in a rush. Close by, they also noticed what could have been antler rubs on the bark, or possibly blade marks. These details kept piling up one after another. Then came the tracks, large, barefoot, human-shaped impressions pressed into the snow, wider and longer than anything anyone in the group could account for, and nothing like the print of any recognizable animal. What made it worse was that the trail simply ended. Mid-stride, the tracks just stopped as though whoever left them had stepped out of existence entirely.
Well, you can see like other human footprints, maybe, but this looks
I don't think those are human footprints.
I don't think so. It's like two little circles. Those look like coyotes. I could see. Oh, maybe they're. These are coyotes, but those I don't know.
Those have toes going.
Well, over here too.
Right there. That might have been Brian.
Yeah. I did a foot comparison.
Oh, come here.
So was it about the size of your shoe, honey?
No.
Way bigger.
Way
What
bigger.
Get the camera. Get the camera. Look at the toes. Look at the phalanges on this thing.
Even if he was wearing like work shoes, I'm assuming. Yeah, look.
Yeah. They're still over. They're over here too. What the fuck? Any animal that you know of, Lauren?
No, that's not bear. Definitely not coyote. Definitely not wolf. Definitely not deer.
It could be a pigeon.
Totally.
The same size as my feet.
It's just not.
Bigfoot.
His feet aren't as wide.
I'm guessing it's either somebody with like natural toes.
Shortly after that, something in the distance let out a sound. Loud, deep, and completely unidentifiable. It didn't match any wildlife any of them could place. The way they described it, the noise had a kind of raw, guttural quality to it. It didn't come again, but once was more than enough to rattle the whole group.
What the was that?
Dude, we're literally finding this right now. No,
At that point, the mood had fully shifted. They turned around and headed back toward their campsite before nightfall, got a fire going, and tried to settle in, but the video doesn't wrap up with any dramatic conclusion. It ends on something quieter and honestly more unsettling. Just that lingering weight of knowing the forest around them still hadn't given up its answers. As always, I'll leave it for you to decide what to make of it. Our next jaw-dropping clip comes from a channel called Tyler Camping, which follows laid-back truck camping adventures, outdoor meals, and creative DIY camper builds. It's March 8th, 2022, and Tyler had set out for a relaxed overnight visit to Yellowbanks campgrounds, hoping to put some fresh modifications to his truck bed setup through their paces. He brought a friend along, and the plan was simple: good food, good company, and a peaceful evening under the open sky. Nature, however, had a very different agenda. Mid-dinner,
Start with some flour. I know you guys probably are having a hard time hearing me. Flour, and add our milk in. All around. Sorry, I'm sort of lame. Abandoned. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, it's coming. Gotta leave the food behind. Come on, let's go.
South of Highway G24 and R57, very specific location.
Ooh, that was crazy.
In Norwalk, that is part of the apparent tornado.
with the camera rolling for what was supposed to be a low-key vlog segment, everything changes in an instant. Emergency alerts start blaring, tornado warnings escalate at an alarming rate, and the two of them have no choice but to drop everything and bolt for the safety of the truck as powerful winds begin sweeping in, leaving all their equipment scattered behind them.
Oh man, his shelter's gone.
In Norwalk, several houses. We haven't gotten a sense of what that damage is yet. One is going to start wondering if we're going to start seeing windows blown out.
Well, we just lost dinner. I was gonna make SOS for you guys, but yeah, this is crazy. That came out of nowhere.
The National Weather Service in Des Moines has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Lucas County.
That's right where we're at right now. We're in Des Moines.
Eastern Decatur County in south central Iowa. Northwestern Wayne County in south central Iowa. Southeastern Clark County in south central Iowa until 6 p.m. At 5:22 p.m., a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 13 miles northwest of Cordon, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Expected hazards included a damaging tornado. Tornadic debris has been confirmed by radar. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation.
Whew. Okay, so that tornado just came right through. Totally took out Marvin's camp. Lifted the back of my truck up a little bit. It is super calm right now. Like say what, Aya's storm or whatever. That's crazy. Now we gotta try to salvage what's left of camp. Dinner tonight is no longer gonna be SOS. As you guys saw me making it. I mean, yeah, it got a little dark out, but all of a sudden that storm just came out of nowhere. I mean, those winds had to be, I don't even know, 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Super crazy. Everything's lost. As you can see, the whole campsite's just gone. We gotta start trying to find out exactly where everything is. There's 3 tornadoes on the ground. I mean, this is wild. There's our dinner sitting right there. We gotta pick up all this trash that we had accumulated on our campground. Storm or no storm, you know, pick up after yourself. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta start trying to find everything, so. All right, love you, be safe.
I do too, always.
Bye.
Bye.
Had to give a quick update to the wife, let her know we just kind of survived a tornado. This is wild. Whole campsite's gone, man. I mean, I can replace this, not, you know, the end of the world. I'm not gonna play with safety at first, but siren just going back off again. Like I said, there's 3 confirmed tornadoes on the ground. And to be honest, as crazy as that was, I still don't want to leave. I want to stay in and hunker down. This one's for you, Steve. This thing's melted down. I was going to show you guys earlier too. This is the hill that was coming down as well. It was a little bit bigger than this, not by much, maybe like half the size of a golf ball, but yeah, crazy. All right, so he's heading out, not to abandon camping tonight, but yeah, so here's what the tornado did. I think that was already there, that cut, but knocked all these branches up and over, flooded this whole area. We're just on our way to go up to Burger King, go get some food since our dinner is out spread all across the woods. And we got, I mean, look at this. Damage everywhere. Man. I'm gonna have to just drive right up over this. I don't think that's gonna be that big of a deal. Maybe I can move some of it. Yep, knocked this all over. All right, this is gonna be interesting.
Fortunately, both of them walked away without a scratch, though some of their gear wasn't nearly as fortunate, left exposed to the storm, and worse for wear because of it. Even so, their ability to stay sharp and move fast under pressure almost certainly made all the difference. This footage serves as a sobering wake-up call that while we tend to worry about shadowy figures in the forest, mysterious creatures, or unknown strangers, Mother Nature herself can be the most overwhelming force imaginable. There is so much in this world that remains beyond our understanding, and sometimes the greatest threats aren't supernatural at all. They're the unseen, unpredictable forces that strike without warning. From the second they got there, Yeti's behavior was off. Fixated on one particular direction, unwilling to move forward the way she usually would, barking at something no one else could see.
We set up a poncho shelter out here this evening, so it's just a case of finding that area that's good enough, flat enough. We're kind of in a traffic jam right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Are we going, Yeti? Forward? Yeah. Okay. I'll go. So yeah, just a case of finding that that good area with a spot where I can tie the poncho to. So this is a half decent spot right here. We can tie off to this tree. Poncho shelter down here, nice and flat, not too much brush or nothing. So
it was a restless night. She kept rising to her feet, letting out low growls and bursts of barking, her gaze locked on whatever lurked beyond the edge of the shelter.
Jesus. Kind of gather that she's not too fond of this place, huh? You're not too fond. I don't know why. I find it quite nice. Constantly looking in that direction where we come in. Yes? Where are you? What are you doing? What are you barking at? What you barking at, huh? Gee. Oh. Whoa. Yes. So we both heard something then. Now, the problem is, the fuck is that? Oh. Thought it was a snake. So we both heard something. She's freaking me out. You're freaking me out. Now I'm getting as paranoid as she is. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. It was a long night. The fun didn't stop for Yeti. She was up barking and growling a few times throughout the night. And don't know what was up with her. It seemed like as soon as it got dark yesterday, she was just almost changed mentality, right? Barking, growling. That's not my track. And that wasn't there yesterday. So this is my track. This is not my track. See the different treads. Is there better ones? Look at this. See, that's not my tread. And that's fresh. That wasn't there yesterday, because I always look for tracks on the way in to see who's been around. No one's been around. So that...
Whatever had held Yeti's attention through those long dark hours had been there all along. Something real, something that had been standing just out of sight, watching their every move. This woman headed into the woods with her dog, planning to film a ghost prank, but before she even got started, a man's blood-curdling scream rang out from somewhere deep in the trees. It sounded like someone was in real agony. Then, just moments after, that same eerie noise came again, louder and stranger than before. Neither of them had any interest in sticking around. She scooped up her dog and got out of there as fast as she could. Whatever was actually going on out there, the forest isn't giving up its secrets anytime soon.